Hello everyone. It's indeed inspiring to see you back again. And we are here in this business analyst series. We are going to help you with step-by-step journey to learn and develop your skills as a business analyst. Here, you will learn a lot about how to interact with client, how to capture the user stories, how to document them and produce BRDs and SRS, how you can do the data modeling part, UML modeling, software methodologies, Agile, Scrum and DevOps, so many and so much things to learn. So I insist you to go through this particular series and get an advantage on business analyst.
Every business analyst should also be aware about the databases. And in this particular video, we would see how to download MySQL software, and we would also execute certain commands using SQL language. So without wasting time, let's download MySQL software. So in your desktop, you would be using any of the browser. You can go into that browser. I am using Google Chrome. I'll just click on the Google Chrome and I'll just write down here that I want to download MySQL software, MySQL download. So you have to write MySQL download and I'll just click on this particular sentence. So in the search box, the results are being shown like after this search box, and we have MySQL, which is providing a setup on this particular platform. So it is official website of MySQL. Let's click on it, and this is the interface of the website. Let's scroll it down, and we have a community download. So this is a particular software which is free to use, so everyone can use it freely. So here we can see that we have a MySQL installer for Windows. So as of now, I'm using Windows operating system. I would be clicking on MySQL installer for Windows. We have a version that is 8.0.535, and let's click on download, and this would be redirected to this particular page. And we have to, like, it would show that log in and sign up, but I just want to download the setup. Let's click on no thanks, just download my software. So after clicking, you would be like, you can see that in the download we have installer, setup, and we'll click on yes, and it would further show us that what all steps needs to be taken. So we have MySQL server, and it has been executed. So if I just click on configuration, you have to just click on next. We have port number as 3306. Let's click on next. And for accessing any of the software or any of the data or any of the mobile phone as well in today's world, so we need a password which can access that data. So this particular software also needs a password which we would be setting right now. So let's click on next, and as of now I'll be typing the password. You can type which you can remember in the future. So I'll click on next, and you can see MySQL 80, it is giving a name, and let's click on next. So grant full access to the user running the Windows service if applicable, and the administrator group only. Users and groups will not have access. So other users, that is. Let's click on next and let's execute it. So we'll be waiting for few seconds that it gets downloaded. So let's click on finish. Okay. So you have understood the steps. Now let's come to the search box and type MySQL. So you would observe that we have MySQL command line, which has been shown up over here. So if you want to reconfigure any other services of MySQL, you can just click on MySQL installer again, and you can go into that particular dialog box which would appear into it, and you can click on add again. So by adding, you can add MySQL servers, applications like MySQL workbench, shell, routers, and you can also set up the connections like ODBC connector, C++ connector J, net, Python, and also it provides certain examples. You can have that examples. If I just click on MySQL documentation, we have more documentations into it. And if I click on samples, I have, it is a hierarchy of showing certain things. So let's not download anything, and let's move towards the execution part. As we have a server, we'll just write command line. It is already popping it. I'll just click on this, and it would ask for the password. So I'll type which I have written. So you have to write which you have written during the installation process. So this is connected. My particular desktop is connected to the server right now, and I'll see that what my database has. So MySQL has certain things. If I have downloaded the packages like samples and documentation, it would have shown certain show databases. I'll just write yes. It has information schema, MySQL, performance schema, and system. So these are all essential files of this database. So we don't have to manage or edit any of these things. These are system defined databases. If we have downloaded even like samples and examples applications, then only we can have some certain another examples sometimes it may provide Shakila database or world database, any other database it provides. But as of now we haven't downloaded anything, so it is showing no any database is there inside my particular database. So we have studied into the previous video that there are multiple commands which is used to handle the structure, which is used to handle the data, which is used to handle the or to just view or analyze the data, or to set the transaction or grant the privileges. So we would see certain commands of it, of creating a table and inserting certain records into it as well. Like we all have seen that every business analyst has to deal with the project. So here I am just writing the details of the employees working on that project. Let us create a table which contains the employee details and a project he's been working on. So, as you know, a project is one of the attribute of he is working on that project, or a person is working on this particular ABCD project. So, this is a particular attribute of employee. Attribute in the sense what? The details about the employee. So, the detailed explanation about the employee are nothing but the attributes we can see here. So what attributes all employees can have? We can have employee. Let's write employee, and it may have certain attributes like name, and he may have the phone number, And also he may have department. Okay, and also we can have his email ID. Okay, as well as we can add the address. So these are the attributes of the employee. How to identify a specific employee by its name, by the phone number, by the department. Like if a department is having certain list of employees, certain group of employees into it, they should have name, and the employee should be recognized also by the department. Each and every department can have multiple employees having also similar name. So we would also add the employee ID with it. Okay. So this obstacle would also be overcome. So this is how we are defining the attributes, and let us write the project they are working upon. So I'll just execute this because as it is a comment, so comment is defined by dash, double dash and a space between this. So I'll just execute and it is not showing an error. So I'll just resize it so that you can see it properly. So let's create the employee table, and for creating a table, first we need to have the container. So let's create the database to store this object. Okay, and for creating a database we have command that is create database. So create is a keyword, database is a keyword, and here I would mention that it is related to a company, that is ABC. My company name is ABC, and this particular company, all the employee details would be stored into this particular variable. Let's execute it, and you can see that create a database ABC has been executed. This particular command has been executed without any errors. So query is okay, row 1 affected. So let's see that where is our database. So for display, for just viewing or to just retrieve all the database names, I'll be writing here show database basis. So it is not show database, it is not a singular, it is a plural. That means basis. So let's execute it with a semicolon, which is very mandatory when you write SQL queries. So whenever you want to end your query, you always end it with a semicolon. So I'll just enter, and you can see that ABC is created. So ABC capital and ABC small. So doesn't matter, it is not a case sensitive language, it means the same. So let's use the container. So whenever we want to utilize the object, we have to use it. Whenever I want to use my laptop, I want to handle it with my hands, or I would be typing with my hands. Similarly, I have to use the database for typing or for inserting records, for creating objects. How this message would be conveyed to the system with the help of syntax. Let's use the database with the help of use command, use ABC. So database has changed right now. Let's see what tables are created. It is created right now, so there would be no tables into it. So still I would be using show tables command so that you get familiar with the commands. Show tables would show the tables into the database. Let's understand now how to create this particular table into the database. I would be writing a command for creating a table right now. So as we created the database, there is a command as well to create a table. Let's create it. Create table. Here we would be writing the table name. Employee detail. And it should contain certain attributes into it. What kind of attributes? Like we have mentioned here, it should have employee ID and name, phone number, department which he belongs to, email ID, address, and project. So what kind of data is being entered into the future? So in the future, you can observe that employee ID would contain only the numbers, or sometimes we can also observe employee ID can have a mixed characters like alphanumeric characters, or it depends upon the company. Actually, they provide the employee ID. They have a particular system where the ID is being generated, and accordingly we would frame that. So let's consider right now the employee ID is in a numeric form. So employee ID is an integer and employee name is always a text. It is always the character. So I haven't seen right till now that someone's name is integer. So as of now, let's assume that where every employee is having a text-based name. So another attribute we have it. Let's write it down simultaneously. We have EMP-ID as integer and we have name as varchar. So it is a character. We are using a data type as a varchar. Give it a size. So how much characters of data should be present into this particular name? I'll be giving a constraint of 50 words, or not 50 words, 50 characters. So this would not extend. Let's write another, that is phone number. Please don't use the special characters, spaces between the two words and the numbers into the column names, into the database names, into the table names. So because it is like somewhat the query would be executed, but it is difficult to retrieve it. So data can be numeric, alphanumeric, as well as special characters, but the database name or column name or the table name should be avoided by writing any of the numbers or special characters or spaces in between it. So I'll be writing phone number into the integer, and we have department into it, and let's not forget about the comma. Department, as of now I would be giving a varchar. Let's give it a number, department 1 and department 2. We would be inserting certain kind of this. Let's insert integer. So accordingly we have to, by the requirement of client for which person we are developing the database, which company we are developing the database. Accordingly, we have to arrange everything. We have to get the requirement of the client and then frame the scope, and then we have to come to this part of the implementation of this particular the model or the deployment of the model. Another we have as email ID, and I'll be keeping as varchar only, and I'll keep as 50 words. And we have address, let's keep as varchar, and let us give a size that it identifies how much words or how much characters it should receive, or that only particular constraint we are giving. Let's write the project, and it should be also the integer. As of now, I'll be giving the project 1, project 2, project 3 into the data. So let's keep integer and let's close the bracket. So now you can understand that these are the attributes of the employee and what kind of data is going to be entered into the future, like it is whether integer data type, whether it is the text-based data type. So we have variable characters to that. We have different kinds of data types into the MySQL, and we would be using with the help of SQL language. So let's execute this particular syntax, and we can observe the table is created. So let's see what is the structure of the database. So I'll just describe my table: employee, detail. So this is how my table is created beautifully, and you can observe all the attributes, fields as a fields, and a type we can observe here, that is a data type. And we have multiple more features into it, and let's now insert the records into this particular table. How to insert the records? With the help of data manipulation language. So in the manipulation language, we also have discussed about insertion command, and we would be using that command to insert the database, insert the data into the database. So let's insert it with the help of insert into what we have to insert into employee. So employee details is a table which we are using, and what is it? Insert into table. It is a table name, and it is not mandatory to write a table over here. So I just want to remember you, like, this is the employee details table, and we have to insert the values into it. So employee details is a table, and we need to insert the values into it. What kind of values? Will specify into parenthesis, into this half circular brackets. So each and every data should be again be separated with the help of columns, and this column should be separated with the help of commas. So each and every column should have the same data which we have already described into the table. So that is the column wise we have to segregate the data, and each data should be segregated by the commas. So insert into employee detail, and what we have to insert? Values. So let's insert the employee ID as 1. So he is the first employee of the ABC company, and his name is the alphanumeric, that is varchar, and we'll specify it using double inverted commas. So this would help us to insert a string of characters, and we'll write here one of the name, and let's write it's his phone number. So it is the integer, and integer only contains the limit of 9 characters. So as of now, I would be typing a sample phone number into it. And another column, we have a department. So department is integer, no need to quote it in double inverted commas. And let's write a department number 6 he works. So let's write the name, email ID, that is rushikesh@gmail.com, and he stays in Pune, and he is working on the project as 101. So integer doesn't contain the inverted, but the characters contains the double inverted commas. So this is how you can insert one record into the table manually. So we have executed the command, and let's see how to just view the copy of the database. So I'll just write the select command, which we have studied during the DQL language, that is select, just a copy of the database. Select star, I would be writing, star is used for everything in the database. Star from is a keyword, and from what? It's a table. So what is table? The table is employee details. So let's execute with the help of semicolon. Select star from employee details would give all the details of my employee table. So this is how you can work with the SQL and store the database, collect the database, to work on it, to do analytics onto it. So if you want to learn more in detail about SQL, you can watch our series into this particular YouTube channel, that is Indeed Inspiring Infotech. We have created a special series for MySQL, and you can watch and learn MySQL using that particular series. Thank you for watching.